Which 49er has the most to prove week 1?
Oh, it's the gentleman we were just talking about. It's easily Brandon Ayuk.
Mm.
You just had a very, very contentious offseason, and Brandon Ayuk didn't do himself any favors, and not a lot of people talked about it. But he said towards the end of that press conference the other day that he maybe made it a little bit harder than what he needed to towards the end. Basically taking responsibility and saying, yeah, I could have ended this thing maybe a little bit earlier if I wasn't playing such hardball. That I don't think did him any favors in the 49ers fan base eyes. Now, I think most 49er fans are happy to have him back. But if he doesn't play well and if they lose, people are going to be at Brandon Ayuk. They are not going to be happy with Brandon Ayuk whatsoever. It's like if he has a three catch, 14-yard game and they lose, it's going to be a problem. It'll be a problem. And by the way, it's not that he just didn't have a full offseason. If I'm Shanahan, I'd be using him as a decoy anyways against Sauce Gardner. That's not the matchup I want to see. So I would be using him to get other people open. It's very reasonable to think that even if he was there all offseason, he would be a decoy and he wouldn't get a lot of targets and catches anyways. Now you add in that, I'm curious to see what his utilization looks like. And I have a feeling it might not be a great game for him. And if it's not and they lose, watch out. This fan base is not going to be happy.
Good call. I like that answer. I'm going to go a different direction, not to step on your toes.
Yeah.
I think Kyle Shanahan has the most to prove.
Okay.
Coming off a Super Bowl loss, a lot of people blame you. You're a 4-point favorite at home. You're going against Robert Saleh. You got to win, man. You got to have this team ready to go. And if you lose, it's not on Brock Purdy. It's on you. You can't lose to Robert Saleh because they could have traded you and kept Robert Saleh. They could have traded you and kept D'Amico Ryans. You got to beat Robert Saleh, man. I'm so much at stake for Kyle. And it's like, yeah, you've proven a lot. You're not a great coach. You're a very good coach and a very good offensive coach. But year 8, Super Bowl or bust. You lose week 1 to Robert Saleh. It's not looking great.
I can't really argue with that necessarily. I'll say a guy that doesn't have a lot to prove, but I am curious to see how he plays. Fred Warner. Fred Warner is one of the best players on this team, but I'm curious to see what it looks like without Dre Greenlaw. Dre Greenlaw, I mean, just emotionally is a big part of what Fred Warner does. Absolutely loves playing football with him. You could see how gutted he was when Dre Greenlaw got injured. But also, Dre Greenlaw does literally everything that Fred Warner would prefer not to do, and vice versa. They just complement each other so dang well. I'm curious to see him playing next to a much lesser player in Devondre Campbell at this stage in his career. What does it look like for Fred Warner? Is he willing to get in there, mix it up, get nasty with the offensive lineman and try to stop the run? Or does he continue to do what he's always been great at, which is coverage and, maybe a little bit of a liability in the run game? I'm curious to see what it looks like for Fred Warner. I don't think he has a lot to prove, but just out of curiosity, I want to see what Fred Warner looks like without Dre Greenlaw next to him.
I think he has a lot to prove in that area. I mean, that's something to prove. Also, Nick Bosa. Last year was a down year for you, Nick. And we all understand it was because you didn't go to training camp and you were negotiating a contract and yada, yada, yada. And we give you that. So that didn't happen this year. You were at training camp. You were at the whole offseason. You should be back. You should be Defensive Player of the Year candidate Nick Bosa. If not, that's alarming because they're paying you to be that. So Nick has a ton to prove this year. Week 1. You had 3 sacks through the first 8 games last year. You should have a sack in this game.
I like that. He should have a sack in this game.
Yeah.
Okay, one more. How about Javon Hargrave? Admitted he was out of shape. You were the prized possession in the offseason for a team that was chasing a Super Bowl. You were supposed to be the guy to come in and deliver something this team was missing in an interior pass rusher, and you failed to do that because you were out of shape. Now you're getting paid still very big money. The expectation is you are a top 3, top 5 interior pass rusher in this league. That's what you were paid to come in and do. You've got help with Bosa right next to you. So it makes your life a heck of a lot easier. Can you come in and wreak havoc as an interior pass rusher and do it? The expectation is now you said you're in shape. Now you know the scheme. Now you've been here a year. There are no excuses. You're getting paid a lot of money. Can you be the player that you're expected to be? I'm curious to see if Javon Hargrave can live up to those expectations as well.
And then also Nick Sorensen, man.
No,
Nick Sorensen. I mean, God, he's gotten the endorsement of the players. Everyone's thinking this is going to be okay because he knows D'Amico, and yeah, okay, but like we've never seen what this looks like. He's never called a play. How? And it's not just him; it's Brandon Staley too. What is this like Frankenstein combination gonna look like? Is it gonna work? He's going against Aaron Rodgers week 1.
It's a good one. Let's go. All right. I think that's a good list of players that have something to prove. Players, coaches. Yeah.